listening to WKDW Radio 97.5 and KDWRadio.com, broadcasting from the Bishop or the Remax Palm mobile tower right here in Northport, Florida. Quick update as far as the radio station is concerned. Please, 97.5 FM is down. We are down because we are moving our antenna. The most important thing I can tell you right now is to look us up on Facebook. You can follow the city page. You can follow WKDW for all your live updates. You can also go to our website and listen live. WKDW Radio 97.5 FM and go to listen live. Our antenna, we are trying desperately to put our second antenna up. So 97.5 is actually out of commission as we speak right now due to the fact that we were installing it at Public Works. And the hurricane, of course, came before we could get that completed. But we are live on through the interwebs, and we're going to be all over social media, and I'm going to be in the EOC starting tomorrow. I've got a really special guest and a good friend. Mr. Mike, would you introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on, John. So my name is Mike NEVAREZ, and I am the Deputy Emergency Manager for the City of Northport.
And so what do you need to tell people today from the emergency management team?
Sure. So I wish that I was tuning in with a little bit different of a situation. But we are very actively monitoring and preparing for Hurricane Milton, major Hurricane Milton at this point in time. So the message that we in emergency management at the city want to push out to all of you is to take this storm seriously. So this is a Category 5 storm. Currently, there's still a lot of uncertainty to this storm as to actual exact information for landfall and exact track, but we are preparing for every possible avenue, and we want to make sure that we're as prepared as possible and get that information to you all in the public.
And I know that we're going to be working together to get that information out as we did a couple weeks back. Hopefully it'll be streamlined even better this time. But the citizens really need to heed the warnings that you guys are putting out, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're very thankful for the partnership, and we want to get this information out to the citizens through every avenue available. So current situation that we're looking at is that evacuation orders for Sarasota County, including the city of Northport, have been issued for evacuation levels A and B. And in the city of Northport, that is a mandatory evacuation.
Oh, it is mandatory in the city of Northport.
Yes. So we message out and we treat that as a mandatory evacuation because this evacuations were called after looking at worst case scenarios and all forecasting to present life-threatening situations due to storm surge. So we work with our emergency services, fire, and law enforcement, and this is a mandatory evacuation within the city.
And what is the time frame you want people to be out of their homes if they're in evacuation zone A and B?
Yeah, so honestly, the sooner the better, just because traffic could continue to get worse, and we do not want anybody to be trapped on the roads for this one. So if you have the opportunity now, if you put everything together, evacuate sooner rather than later would be our message to you.
Fantastic. And if you need to go to a shelter, please get your list of items that you definitely need. Medications, blankets, anything that you can put on the floor, a chair, as simple as a chair. They do not provide you with all these things. And on top of everything else, I've done the shelter routine. I personally know that the school systems, while they'll do whatever they can to make you happy, it's not a hotel stay. You need to take food with you. 3 to 5 days worth of food, 30 days worth of meds. You need to make sure that you are prepared to stick it out and really keep the peace of mind when you go, and take your pets with you. Find the pet friendly shelter, and all those are part of this whole process. Correct, Mike?
That's correct. So we have evacuation centers throughout Sarasota County that are opening tomorrow at 10 a.m. and every single one of those evacuation centers are pet friendly. So if you have pets and you're planning to go to an evacuation center, please take them with you. But like you said, John, please bring every supply with you that you can. Those evacuation centers are designed to be a safe place to be, and that is it. There's no cots, there's no food, there's no expectation of anything at those evacuation centers. So please bring anything with you that you need, medications, all of that. And then to kind of piggyback on that, if you have for those individuals who are medically dependent on electricity or other special needs, you can sign up through the county's medical dependent persons program and then have access to a medically dependent shelter that's able to accommodate those particular medical needs. So that's done as a registration through Sarasota County's website. So if you qualify for that, I encourage you to please go through that process.
Absolutely. The biggest thing that people could do right now is share this information. Find out who doesn't have their needs taken care of. Help your neighbors, help your family. The city, everyone needs to come together. We've got updates coming from Public Works throughout the day tomorrow. I know that you're in the loop there too, but as far as our canals, we're going to get another quick update from Tricia here shortly, but we should feel very confident the city of Northport has taken all the appropriate steps to prepare for this, correct?
That is absolutely correct. So Tricia is the expert. I don't want to pretend to be more knowledgeable in that than Tricia, but I have been working with them very closely. Stacy, the emergency manager, has been working with them very closely. There's multiple calls throughout the day, and Public Works is doing a fantastic job of getting as much capacity in the canal system and through the water system as possible. They are pushing out water through the system to ensure we have a maximum amount of capacity up to the storm. So we are continuing to see rains coming through every day, which is making that job more complicated. So more and more rains is coming, so that's more water that they're pushing out through the system just to get as much capacity as possible before Hurricane Milton gets here.
And that's also why it's so important for people to listen to you now when you're saying evacuation A and B. If you took on water for Ian, this is your time. Get your stuff put up, get out, and go to a shelter, find a hotel, find friends or family inland. Just don't stick around for it.
Right. So the evacuation levels A and B, which you can find on Sarasota County's website, Know Your Level. So those are dependent upon storm surge. So storm surge is when the winds are pushing in the water from the Gulf, or for us in the city, the Mayaca River and Charlotte Harbor. That is what those evacuation levels are tied to. But I encourage you all to know your own personal risk and understand that. So if you live in a house that is pre-damaged from Hurricane Ian or Hurricane Debbie or Hurricane Helene, as we've been facing back-to-back storms, unfortunately. If you live in a low-lying area, or if you live in a home that was built before 2000, which is when the hurricane standards became more strict, I would encourage you to look at a possible evacuation. So the mandatory evacuations are for A and B, but understand your own personal risk, because those evacuation levels aren't going to take into account your own individual circumstances. And we're not asking you to have to necessarily evacuate out of the state. If you just find a family member or a friend who is living somewhere close by that is maybe more elevated or in a well-built home or away from the coast, you can go stay with them. Evacuation centers are there, but we ask you to treat them as the centers of last resort.
And I know that the last update I had was that it was more towards Tampa Bay, but I got to tell you, I was here for Charlie, and you know, while we all love the wobble, we don't like to see wobbles too much out of hurricanes, and we've experienced that before in our family and friends down in Port Charlotte region with Charlie. So just take safety first. Run from the water, hide from the wind. And if you do those things, we have no deaths. That and really highlight 45 miles an hour. What happens at 45 miles an hour as far as our emergency people?
Yep. So 45 miles per hour is the trigger for us that the safety of the emergency services is put at risk to be on the road. So at 45 miles an hour, sustained winds is when we make the call to pull emergency services off the road. So that's why when we're talking evacuation time frame, sooner rather than later, because once those 45-mile-per-hour winds are here, it's not safe to be on the roadway. It's going to be unsafe to be on bridges. And while the bridges don't technically close, we want to make sure that nobody is stuck in an unsafe situation in a car in some sort of gridlock anywhere on the road. So that's why we encourage you to make your preparations now, get your supplies in order, and if you're making the choice to evacuate, please do so sooner rather than later.
And, just heed all these warnings and share this information. It is vital to get this information out to everyone. I know there are a lot of people watching right now. I've got 2 thumbs up as far as this information. Lori I call her Joe Edwards over at Lions Title. Awesome. Trevor Morrison, you guys right now who are watching, please share this video. Get this information out. The more shares, the more information gets seen, the better off we all are as a city. Let's help our neighbors right now by sharing this information. The content is there. The information is solid. It's coming straight from the EOC, and we're going to have more for you tomorrow. Is there anything else you'd like to add in, Mike?
Yeah, so that's true, John. So as much information as you can get is what we want to push out here. So WKDW, we are so thankful to have that partnership with you to get this message out to as many people as possible. Some other revenues that the city pushes out is you can text Northport Strong, NP Strong, to 888-777 to get city text message alerts. You can also go to northportfl.gov, subscribe to get updates from the city. northportfl.gov/alerts for our emergency alerts, and also alertsarasotacounty.com to sign up for Everbridge emergency alerts. And those are the alerts that pop up through your phone as we push out those life-saving critical information. So with this one, I just want to reemphasize that this storm is significant. It has the potential to be catastrophic. There's still a great degree of uncertainty to the exact track of the storm. So we want to be leaning forward and as precautionary as possible. And we at the city are taking every step possible to make sure that we're as prepared as possible. And we want to get that information out to you all.
And so as far as the EOC, give a quick highlight on what that means to the citizens of Northport.
Sure. So the EOC, or the Emergency Operations Center, is essentially the city's coordinating hub for all of our emergency protective actions that we're running. So kind of a peek behind the curtain. So we have different department operations centers set up throughout the city, and that's where each department, fire, PD, public works, utilities, they have their people staged up at kind of a central command for that individual department's work. So fire's preparing, doing the evacuation notices, preparing their staffing levels to respond as quickly as possible. Same thing for PD. Public works is doing all the water monitoring, utilities is preparing the system. So each function, each department is doing their work necessary to get the city ready. The EOC is coordinating all of those different parts together to make sure that we as a city have all of our departments working in lockstep together. We're coordinating. We have objectives overall that we're working to as a city. We're making sure that we're messaging out to the public what we're doing and what they need to know for organizations. And we're also working with our National Weather Service partners, our National Hurricane Center partners, the county and the state. We at the EOC are coordinating with all of those partners to make sure we have the latest and greatest information, and that we're coordinating our efforts and getting that information out to you all.
So I want to highlight something because it really frustrated me, because it was my first time in the EOC and I understood my mission. I understood my job. And when I walked into the EOC for the first time, I understood how everyone else was taking their job. It is a very serious situation. Those people out there that were 10 hours into, oh my God, this was nothing. Oh my gosh, I don't know why we're doing all this stuff. Can you please highlight real quick the importance of what happened around us during that last storm?
Sure thing. Honestly, if we're hearing there were no impacts, or I don't know what they were doing, that's what I want to hear, because that means that we didn't see the worst of the impacts that we were preparing for. But we had shifts going around the clock, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. in our EOC, with people staff coordinating to all of our department operations centers, which were working around the clock as well, to make sure that we had everything prepared ahead of time, that we were ready during the storm, and that we were staged up and ready to go immediately afterwards. So we have tactical first in teams that are staffed up, ready to hit the ground running, that have PD, they have fire, they have public works, that are able to get there, get through the roads, and start clearing things, and start responding immediately as soon as the storm passes and it's safe to be out. We've been putting in requests for mutual aid to bring in other entities that kind of augment our own capabilities, so we make sure that we can get to as many people as possible after the storm passes. We are putting up, some other things that we're doing, we're putting up flood barriers around some of our critical facilities that are low-lying to make sure that we retain service there. We've been working the sandbag operation through Public Works, which has been incredibly successful, to the point where we have went through over 20,000 sandbags that we've given out to the public to make sure that they're as prepared as possible. And now we're out of bags because we've given out so many bags. We put in a request to the state of Florida because we bought every single bag in Sarasota County up, and we need to get more. So we have got a lot of different things going on. We make sure that we're prepared, the citizens are prepared, and they have the information that they need in order to make the decisions that are able to save their lives. Because I agree with you, we want no deaths from this storm. That is our 100% goal in the EOC and in the city.
And I've got Tricia joining us in a few minutes. Where can people fill their sandbag?
So we still have the sandbag location that is set up behind the athletic fields at the George Mullins Center. So there is still sand there. At this point in time, we have ran out of sandbags because we just gave out over 20,000, and we've made that critical request into the state that we need more sandbags. So they're pulling in resources from all across the state to get more sandbags as soon as possible. But the county is also facing the same thing. The amount of influx of people needing sandbags, understandably so, has actually gone through every single resupply that we've set up with every single local vendor. So we're working with the state to get those bags refilled as quickly as possible. Right now, if you even bring pillowcases, bring a shovel, there is sand still at GMAX. So if the sandbag need is there, some impromptu things are going to be better than nothing.
Absolutely. As far as the emergency management team and our shelters, how are we coordinating all of those things and keeping everyone safe?
Absolutely. So the shelters are actually facilitated and run by Sarasota County Emergency Management in partnership with the school district. But we at the city have very close communications with their mass care team that are running each one of those shelters. So we are working with them to understand if there's any unmet needs that the county has that we're able to fill at the city level. So we understand that some of the school locations are located within the city. So if there's any critical unmet needs that the county comes up with in that operations, then we're able to work with them and fill those immediately. So right now, the county's looking at some additional staff augmentations that they're bringing in, but if they come to the point where they need, say, shelter staffing, that could be a conversation with the city that we might be able to pull in city employees to help staff those shelters. Right now, sound in communications with the county, they've done a bang-up job in getting those evacuation centers ready to open tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So right now, they don't have any unmet needs, but 10 o'clock tomorrow, not 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock tomorrow. But we're working with them if they do have anything that comes up.
Not a problem. I appreciate your time, Mike. I'm going to go ahead. Is there anything else you'd like to add in?
No, just please continue to take the storm seriously, to listen to those evacuation orders, and to get the latest and greatest information that we push out. Things do change with the storm being so uncertain in its track. So small shifts can create very, very different results. So just continue to monitor this one and listen for the updates that we, the city, provide out to the public.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Mike. And
Thank you, John.
I don't look forward to seeing you tomorrow, but I look forward to working with you through this whole thing.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
See you, buddy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take time out real quick, and I'm going to get a call into Tricia Weisner at City Hall, or at Public Works, I'm sorry. So we're going to do this really quick, folks. Hopefully she'll answer, and we'll get Tricia on. I'm just waiting for her to pick up. Boop, boop. So the most important thing to understand, if we can't get Trisha on now, it's going to work out tomorrow. I'm going to.
Hi, you've reached Trisha Wisner.
I'm going to be at City Hall tomorrow in the EOC at 9 a.m. I'm going over today, set everything up for myself, but WKDW Radio 97.5 will be on social media. We'll be on the internet-based radio, WKDW Radio 97.5 FM.com. Click on Listen Live, and you can get your updates there. I will tell you, I was at Public Works today. They are working hard. They are so focused on getting our canals and everything emptied out. Like Mike said, with this rain that's coming in, it is amazing how much water that we've taken on. We're at record number pace. Think about it. Record number pace on water. They are getting rid of the water out of our canals. Yet the people, if you're here or see anybody saying the city of Northport isn't doing anything, they absolutely 100% are going over and beyond. Let's see. I'm trying to get her on, but I promise I will get her on tomorrow. Do you guys have, I see a comment there. Where is their gas? Jennifer Lynn, oh my Lord. I did get gas at Wawa on Toledo Blade. You know, as soon as I say this, there's going to be a line, but there's a mobile gas station at Bobcat. The mobile station going into Lakeside Plantation. Some of those hidden little gas stations, people will run out of gas. I promise you this, though. They're already looking at getting gas back down here, if not today or tonight, tomorrow. They are not going to let this place go dry. It is not going to be dry for very long, if at all. So keep that in mind. Tomorrow is critical, though. Once it hits 45 miles an hour, there's pretty much not going to be anybody wanting to be on the road, including the truck drivers. So safety. If you don't have enough gas right now, go home. Just go home and hunker down. Hide from the water, or run from the water, hide from the wind. If you do those two things and you can find a newer built shelter, you are so much better off. So keep that in mind as we go through this. Understand that trash pickup is going to happen. Watch this video back if you're just joining us. There's a lot of detail. I'm going to give you more detail tomorrow and keep you updated all the way through. And any breaking news, we will break in. So I will try to schedule so you guys know it's out there, but always check the pages. Always listen on the half hour on the radio station, 97.5 FM, through our website-based internet. Sorry to do that to you folks, but our antenna is being installed right now. That is part of this whole plan. And unfortunately, we're getting this direct hit, possibly with our antenna on the ground already, because it has to be installed. We are working to come up with a remedy. Keep that in mind. If I get a remedy, I will get on the air. I'll get all over Facebook and let you know. The biggest thing that I can tell you, and the biggest ask I have of you, is to get people to like and share the radio page. Go to the city of Northport and make sure you get signed up for all of their information, completely signed in and updated with all of their information. You will get those contact information right to your phone. Your phone will beep as much as mine. I even signed up for the Sarasota County side of things. If you're going to go to a shelter, be prepared. Get your list. I've attached the list on the radio station page. If you don't know what to take, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a list of things you should take. But the most important thing is food, water, and guess what? Meds. Take plenty of meds. Don't forget your insulin. If you are a older person who needs 24-hour care, your goal is not to get to the shelter and be by yourself. There is no one there that can take care of you like that. So you need to make sure that you get yourself help if you're going to go to a shelter. If you're in that situation, get yourself to an emergency room and get out of the way. Let them help you find a location. A shelter is not for somebody with major care. Okay, it is not. It is chaos, but ran smooth. I've done it. I've been there. Did my fair share of volunteering. Biggest thing you could do is go in with an open mind. Go in with the idea you're going to be safe, sound, and secure, and you're going to be fed. Whatever they have, they will help. But take your food, take your water, take a chair, take a blanket, take a pillow. If you've got a small roll or a sleeping bag that you can lay on the floor, do that. There's no cots. There's nothing like that. This is about survival. Survival. Jennifer, I'm not sure what to tell you more about that, but I hope I answered your question. Please share the video, and we'll talk to you guys a lot more later on tonight or tomorrow. If you have any questions or you have any thoughts or ideas, if you need my cell phone number, it's 941-391-4663. I don't mind giving it out because anybody who knows me knows I'm a realtor here in town. So you can find me, 941-391-4663. If you have any questions, you have any thoughts, you have any ideas, call me. If there's some assistance I can give you, I will. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, and have a blessed day, and stay safe.